Do you want a nature journal an active volcano? Yes please. In Costa Rica? Let's go. Arenal Volcano is a young and active volcano that erupted violently in 1968, burying 3 villages and killing almost 100 people. It continued to erupt regularly but less dramatically until 2010. Since then, it has been mostly quiet but is still one of the most iconic volcanoes of Costa Rica. It is also famous for often being hidden behind clouds. Will I get a glimpse of it? Will I see cool plants reclaiming the lava? First, I have to survive the taxi ride there.
Entonces aquel otro es el chato.
Ese es el chato y este... Aquí te dejo yo.
Okay, perfecto.
Alright, so that's pretty cool. And here it tells you the distances. Let's see, depending on how much nature journaling I do, if I can do the long one or not. Alright, so I'm only like 1,000 meters onto the trail that's almost 5 kilometers long, and there's already awesome things that I could just stop here and nature journal. But my goal is to nature journal the Arenal Volcano. I've never nature journaled a volcano. Well, that's not true. I've never nature journaled a volcano as active as Arenal before, and this is going to be a special chance to nature journal this volcano. I'd love to get a landscapeito in showing kind of the big picture, so I'm trying not to get distracted by all of this amazing rainforest here and just keep pushing through on this trail. All right, so the name Arenal means a place with a lot of sand. Arena is sand, same root as the word arena. Look up the etymology, it's very interesting. And the ending is al, and al is a place that has a lot of something. And look at this, look at the ground down here. So this is some type of, I still don't understand this, and I saw this in Ecuador, but I'm not totally understand how volcanic sand works or what volcanic sand is, but the ground here is almost all sand, hence the name of this volcano. You can see the vegetation here also. This grass looks to me like the kind of stuff, like early successional or stuff that takes over in a disturbed area. So some places have been covered more in forest and have some sort of secondary forest, but a lot of this area is just that grass. As destructive as volcanic eruptions are, they also create a ton of fertility. So usually in the wake of volcanic eruptions, you have exuberant vegetative growth, and sometimes, like in the Galapagos, depending on how much water there is, things might not really grow that much because volcanic leftovers sometimes don't hold very much water. So in a very dry place like some of the Galapagos Islands, there's not much vegetation, and it takes a while for the vegetation to follow on a volcanic eruption. But here in this part of central Costa Rica, there is enough water to combined with the volcanic nutrients for a lot of plants to grow. All right, so this is the beginning of the lava flow from 1968. So I wasn't even born yet, but 1968 is not that long ago, and supposedly this volcano, this entire volcano, is only 9,000 years old. So that means there were people here when this volcano started erupting, if that's correct information. So look at this rough lava. This is so interesting to see this and compare it to some of the lava flows that I got to hike on in the Galapagos and see how the vegetation is different, how the biological response here is different. This is such an interesting, wow, I wonder what these plants are. This would be a great place to nature journal. I'm planning on bringing a trip here to Costa Rica next year, a nature journal trip, and so I'm scoping out some locations. This is so cool. I'm having flashbacks to the Galapagos because the hiking, the difficulty hiking is very similar, and the only difference is there's so much more floral diversity. Like, look at these bromeliads growing here. How awesome is that? It looks like a houseplant. And even though things are sort of stunted by the shallow soil, the soil here is so shallow because that's very recent disturbance event that basically removed all the soil or covered up all the soil here. So all these plants are growing on a very thin layer of soil. Oh my gosh, look at this bromeliad up here. It is a bromeliad. There's a ton of this plant. I was wondering what it is, and here I see it flowering. This to me guarantees that it is a bromeliad. Based on the leaves and the growth habit and the spines on the leaves, I was guessing, but I had some doubts. Definitely looks like a bromeliad. There's another epiphytic bromeliad right there. And look at all these orchids right here. Just orchids growing all over the tree. So like Galapagos in some ways, but so much more diverse and exuberant. Oh my gosh, look at that lizard right there. All right, so I haven't done any nature journaling so far, and the volcano looks like it might actually clear up there for a second. So I'm gonna try to quickly do a little landscape pizzo and maybe some other nature journaling up here on the volcano or next to the volcano. I can't get any closer to this volcano because it is still active. All right, so it was blazing hot. I'm doing this watercolor. Good conditions for watercolor, really sunny and hot, good for drying. And now it looks like it's gonna start drizzling. So time to be quick and ready for changing conditions in the field while nature journaling. It's starting to rain, so that means time to put this stuff away. But remember, rainy conditions aren't the end of the world for nature journaling. Practice to see what the limit is for your nature journaling techniques in the rain. Check out one of my other videos about nature journaling in wet conditions. Well, I feel pretty good about that. I got to nature journal the volcano, and I didn't capture that much of the botanical context. And, you know, there's so many cool plants just everywhere here. But the most important thing, the unique thing, and the thing that I set my intention on was the volcano. I got a sort of landscape of it, some of the cloud dynamics, and some of the questions and stuff that I had about it. So I feel pretty good about that. It started to rain, so it's time to leave, but I got some nature journaling in at the Arenal Volcano in Costa Rica. I would love to go nature journal some more volcanoes in the future. So if you know about any cool projects studying volcanoes where they need some illustrations or graphic depictions of the research that's being done or the volcano itself, let me know, and I would be glad to join your team as a nature journaler and create some illustrations and drawings in real time in the field at any volcanic eruption or studies of volcanoes that you know about. Thanks to all my Patreon patrons for making this show possible. You're all awesome, and your belief in my vision to make the world a better place through nature journaling is what keeps this show going. To learn more about my Patreon, check out this link right here. And if you can't wait all the way until next week for the next episode of the Nature Journal Show, check out these videos right here. Bye.